Hey guys, what's up? My name's Dan and this is my 12-month transformation video and the 8 habits that I used to achieve it. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. Catch you at the end. Cheers. Months ago, I was an alcoholic. I used to use alcohol to suppress emotions, kick my issues down the road, help out in social situations because I couldn't do them sober. And after a pretty big festive season on the 26th of December, Claire looked down at me as I lay hungover at her parents' house and asked me to give up alcohol with her for 12 months. I was in a pretty vulnerable state, so I looked back up at her and said, you know what, let's do this, I'm in. That's obviously easier said than done, and to help us out, we decided to come up with a bet. The bet was for $5,000 I would give up alcohol for 12 months and I could spend that money on whatever I wanted at the end of it. If I didn't make it all the way, Claire could spend the money on whatever she wanted. So we used that bet and that facade to go around telling all our friends and family what we're doing. We got a lot of people telling us we couldn't do it or we shouldn't be doing it, and that social pressure of everyone telling us what we couldn't do or what we shouldn't be doing was motivation to keep us going and make us go even harder. And so between those two things, with the bet and everyone telling us we couldn't do it, we started off this new habit of giving up alcohol. We also had to remove a lot of the cues out of our life that kicked in that habit, so not going to knockoffs after work, not going out to dinners as often, not hanging out with friends as often in social situations where drinking was involved. And when we did find ourselves in those situations, because we still are 31-year-olds living in Melbourne, we just made sure we're always together and we had each other's support to make sure that we weren't drinking. That first 6 to 12 weeks was definitely the hardest. For me, the hardest part was dealing with my emotions again. I'd never really understood what that was. I'd always been able to suppress them and numb them out with alcohol. And some funny things were happening. I was crying for no reason, just uncontrollably. I didn't know what all these different emotions were that were coming through me, and it took me a good 6 to 12 weeks to figure them out and understand how to deal with them and how to handle them without alcohol, without some sort of substance abuse. And as the time went on, things got easier. Claire and I started to realize that we didn't need alcohol at all. It wasn't really adding anything to our life before. And by the end of 12 weeks, we were good. We weren't even wanting or craving or didn't even desire the situations that put us into the place where we were drinking. We really set up a great platform to help us build all the other habits that we would eventually go on to create off of this first keystone habit. And without that habit, nothing else in this video could have happened. It was a huge step, and I think it's really important to highlight how critical that first keystone habit is to the success of the rest of your journey. So it's been 12 weeks now since we'd stopped drinking, and we're feeling pretty good about ourselves, but we wanted to kick our lifestyle up a notch, and we wanted to create some more habits that really got us into shape and helped us get our body right, that would eventually get our mind right. So the first one was going to the gym every day. I've always played sport and I've always gone to the gym intermittently, but I've never done anything consistently for a long period of time. So I decided I needed to go to the gym every day, but I knew willpower alone wasn't going to help me do this. So I needed to create a habit to help me get to the gym every single day. And to do that, I came up with a pretty simple but really effective method. I just got ready the night before. So I got my smoothie ready, I got coffee pods out, get my work clothes put together, my gym bag, my gym clothes, and I put it all out ready to go in the kitchen. And as I woke up in the morning, all I had to do was drink my smoothie, have my coffee, grab my gear and get out the door. And if I had to, I'd say to myself, just grab your stuff, go get ready for work at the gym. You don't have to work out, just get ready. And those simple little things was enough to get me to the gym every single day. And of course, once you get to the gym, you're going to work out, even if you told yourself the whole way there that you're just going to go stretch or you're just going to go for a shower. So yeah, it was really effective and really simple, and actually it wasn't just effective for me, Claire used it as well. Claire didn't start going to the gym with me straight away. She'd just go to the gym downstairs in our apartment building, because she'd never gone to the gym before and she just wanted to see if she liked it and see if it was something that she could do. And after a couple of months, she had maxed everything out. There was no more machines that she could use there. She was in desperate need of a real gym. So she came and joined my gym, and since that day back in April when we started this routine, we have only missed the gym maybe 4 times. Otherwise, we've been going consistently every day for that whole period. It was so effective, this method, that I can't stress it enough, and I think everyone else should give it a go. But it's important to remember that it was effective because we'd given up alcohol for 12 weeks. That keystone habit is what allowed us to create this other new habit. And that's because our sleeping patterns have been all fixed because of the no alcohol. We weren't tired in the morning. We didn't have crazy lifestyles where on a Friday night we'd go out partying, and so we might wake up at 12 o'clock the next day. Everything was starting to become a routine. And as we created this night routine on top of everything else, it just flowed in. It just became part of our daily habits. So even though it was instantaneously effective, I don't think we could have done this if we were drinking still. However, we weren't drinking. We're 12 weeks in. It made perfect sense to start doing this, and it worked straight away. So habit number 2, going to the gym every day, was done. We've ticked it off. We've got it locked in. It's now part of our lifestyle for the rest of our lives.
So this isn't really a habit as such, more of a lifestyle and more of a way of life, but I guess it still has cues and routines and rewards like habits do. It's a bit hard to justify it as a pure habit. However, it definitely is something that made a big difference over the years. Growing up, being half Polynesian, being a rugby union player, you're always going to be strong. I've always been strong for my age and my size, and I used to use it at the gym all the time. I was always pushing heavier weights. I was always trying to bench as much as I can. What I didn't realize, because to be honest, because I was too stupid, was lifting big weights with incorrect form doesn't help you grow. It just doesn't. It doesn't help at all. When you're in your 20s, you can deal with the injury. You injure yourself at the gym when you're 20, and the next day you're right. You do that when you're 30, and that's over. You're out for months. That's what happened to me. After a decade or more of doing incorrect bench press form of weights that I should never even been touching, I buggered both my shoulders. Both of them are gone. The rotator cuffs just don't like me at all. And I've spent countless time and money at physios, chiropractors, acupuncturists, masseuse, you name it. I've done it all. I've spent all the money and nothing's helped. It's not that the practitioners were no good at what they did, it's just they're so beyond repair, they need time. So I've had to strip back everything. Even my deadlifts and my squats. I spent some time with my personal trainer Paulie, who's a good friend of mine. We've worked out before, but we never really did squats and deadlifts. We did plyometrics and we did functional stuff rather than big heavy lifts. This is the first time I've done heavy squats with him or heavy deadlifts. He took one look at me and just shook his head and said, "Who taught you how to squat?" Now for me that's a pretty funny question, because growing up, who teaches you how to do any exercise at the gym? You just do it, right? Like, that's you squat. Who doesn't know how to squat? Well, obviously I didn't know how to squat. I didn't know how to bench press. I didn't know how to deadlift. So all my core big lifts I was doing wrong. That night, I went home, I grabbed a broomstick and I practiced for hours trying to get my squat technique right. After a few weeks, I finally got a lot better. I wasn't perfect, but I was a lot better. My strength gains were crazy. Under Paulie's, watchful eye to make sure I was doing everything correctly, I went from barely being able to do 5 or 6 at 130 kgs to being able to do 5 or 6 at 160 to 180 kgs. The first day that I hit a 210 kg deadlift was crazy. I just done double my body weight in a pull that I could barely do 140 before. I'd added 50% to my lift and my technique was perfect. Nothing hurt. I didn't get any lower back strains. Nothing hurt. I can't really stress enough how important it is to make sure that you're following proper form and proper technique. People told me when I was in my 20s, mate, stop what you're doing, get your form right, don't worry about weight, but you don't listen to them. Not when you're a young idiot like I was. You just keep pushing the most weight that you possibly can. Shut up old man, you just can't lift what I can, so shut up. These days, I'm back to 60 kgs on the bench press, looking at the young boys saying, man, just slow down. What are you doing? Don't ruin your shoulders. Maybe it's not really a habit, but there's still cues, which are, I'm going in for bench press. The routine is, what weight do I put on? How much do I want to show off? And the reward now that I've learned to change my routine to do lighter weights is that I go home without any pain, injury free. So yeah, not a true habit, but definitely a life lesson that needs to be learned.
So now we've given up drinking, we go to the gym and exercising correctly, we wanted to start fixing our eating, get our eating under wraps. But when you live in a city like Melbourne, Uber Eats is the actual devil. One time I ordered duck liver parfait to the front door. I mean, what the actual, who even needs to do that? But of course you do, and with the countless options that there are when you live in a city like this, you can get pizza, Chinese, burgers, Indian, anything you can dream of. at any time of the day. And given that we were pretty successful in our careers and we're earning decent money, it wasn't anything to us. We'd just order whatever we want when we wanted. But we also came home late most nights. You know, I'm the general manager of a hotel, Claire's an event manager. We could be finishing at work at 5 o'clock or we could be finishing work at 9 o'clock at night, who knows. So we wanted something that when we got home was there ready to go and we could just quickly get it done and get on with the rest of our nighttime routine. So we decided that we would go with the service called Marley Spoon, which is like HelloFresh or any of those services that delivers fresh ingredients to your house along with recipe cards, and they're quick, they're easy, they're delicious, but they're expensive. But not as expensive as Uber Eats. So every Monday we'd get a package, it had 4 meals in it from Monday through to Thursday. Fridays we would have a cheat day, and Saturdays, Sundays we're at home, so we had more time to cook dinner. And the way we made this work is we fit it in with our already existing nighttime routine. It just became part of getting our smoothie ready, getting our gym gear ready, getting dinner ready. And actually it was faster to cook these meals than it was to order Uber Eats, so it actually saved us time as well. So although it cost a bit of money, it was actually quite easy to implement because of the already existing habit we had of our night routine. And as the weeks went on and it became easier and easier, and we weren't ever ordering Uber Eats again, and we'd been cooking dinner 7 nights a week and not even having as many cheat meals. So then we decided it was time to get rid of Marley Spoon, but keep ordering all the same ingredients from the recipe cards that we collected through an online grocer. And we continued that habit up, and that's what we do now, and it's been so successful, and now we cook dinners almost every night. And because of those habits we built earlier on, this was such an easy habit to add on top. And we've done it. We've started cooking. The next thing we had to do was to get all our meals through the day right. So now that we had our morning and night routines locked in place, it was about getting the rest of the day set up. And to do this, I set alarms on my phone for every 2 hours that told me exactly what to eat. By doing that, you would get a meal done every 2 hours, you'd eat it, you'd prep your next meal for the next 2 hours, or you'd have it planned out, ready to go, waiting for you, and then as your next alarm went off, you could eat it. And so that habit started to get really ingrained really quickly because it was a cue, routine, reward in a nutshell. The cue was the alarm went off, the routine was to eat your meal, get your next meal ready, and then the reward was that you're full and you're satiated. That habit formed really quickly. It was quite easy to do, and because of all the other habits that we already put in place, it wasn't a very strenuous or hard task to get in from a physical, habitual perspective. What was hard was the mental game. I just turned food into sustenance. Rather than the experience and enjoyment and flavors that I was used to, I turned it into just a routine, something you had to do. It was just fuel. It was like pouring petrol in the car. Yes, I know that's good, and it helped my body get to where it needed to be, and it helped me lose a lot of weight really fast, and I got really strong, and all the good things happened. But mentally, being a hotelier, food is a big part of my life, and to let that be turned into just fuel was heartbreaking. And it took a long time for me to realize that, but what it had actually done is I'd grown appreciation for good food when I have cheap meals or when I go out for dinner. And at those points, I now savored every mouthful. I really looked forward to those meals as well. And I started making better choices with my cheat meals. It wasn't just about the most calories or the most disgusting thing I could put in my mouth. It was about what's the best flavors, what's the best quality ingredients, who's the best chef I can get to make me some food. And so now my appreciation for food is tenfold what it used to be. But yes, food has 2 roles now in my life. One is sustenance, one is growth. And then on the other side, one is enjoyment and experience. So I have this dichotomy of what food is to me. And the understanding of that is what helped me get through the rest of the year, sticking to the same 2-hour alarm diet that I created. But yeah, easy habit to put in place physically and actually after all the habits I'd already done with giving up alcohol, going to the gym and my nighttime and morning routines. But mentally it was a challenge to overcome, and it was something that I don't think anyone could have told you. You had to figure that out for yourself. So now that we had our drinking under control, we had our gym going every day, we're eating properly, all our meals were locked in, it was time to get more productive in life. And so after watching a video from Casey Neistat with Jocko Willington, I liked what Casey was talking about, how he gets up early every morning and is so much more productive and gets things done. So I decided that's what I wanted to do.
But since that day, I've been waking up prior to 5 AM almost every day. On the weekends, we'll sleep in a little bit, maybe sleep until 6, 6:30 depending. But essentially we were waking up at 5 AM every day. And because of that, we were able to spend an hour in the morning together rather than quickly grabbing all our smoothie and everything and running out the door. We were able to spend some quality time together with watching YouTube because that's what we love doing. This is why we started the channel, or just talk, or recap on yesterday's day, or whatever it was we wanted to do, and have our breakfast with each other. Then we'd get to the gym by 6 AM, work out, get home by 7:15, and then we'd get to have time together again. And so Claire and I would have showers together, we'd turn up music and have a dance, and it's just a really good way of reconnecting with each other. And after the gym, you've got that post-gym euphoria high, so you're feeling good, and you put some music on, and everything's great. And so then what that did is that meant that by 7:30, 8 o'clock, I had spent time with Claire, I'd gone to the gym, I'd probably already done a whole bunch of emails because I would have done some work in between that time, and I would be getting to work by 8:30, and all my urgent emails have already been answered, and now I could sit down, knock anything else out I needed to do, and by 9 o'clock at morning brief with the team, I'd done almost all my work for the day that was pressing. And so for the rest of that 8-hour shift, or that 8-hour day, I could spend my time with my team, which is what I love about my job the most, is getting to spend time with the team and helping them develop and be better people themselves. So yeah, it was pretty quick, it was pretty easy, but it was only like that because of all the other habits beforehand. It was another layer that we'd added on. It was another extra piece. Our nighttime routine was in place, so we got to bed on time, which meant we had a good night's sleep, which meant when I woke up at that time, I wasn't tired, I was ready to go. And now I just be giving myself another hour. My morning routine had changed, obviously. I was no longer going to the gym, getting ready at the gym and going to work. I was coming home from the gym. I was getting more time with Claire, and we've just given ourselves more time to spend with each other. So it was probably one of the best decisions we'd made over this last 12 months. And we've only been doing it for 2 months or so, but man, it's paid dividends. Our relationship has grown tenfold since that point. Just being able to get that time with each other where you are happy and you are feeling good just post-workout, that's so crucial. I'm really happy that we managed to pull this off. So this one was more of a goal rather than a habit, and it's a goal that I set myself at the start of the year. I really wanted to achieve this for a number of reasons, but mostly just for education purposes and development opportunities. I really love reading, but like most people, I never have enough time to do it. And so for the first 6 months, that was who I was. I read about 7 books in that first 6 months, and I was really trying to read. I just couldn't find the time, and I was taking time away from Claire when I did it, so I couldn't really create a habit of, say, every day read 30 minutes a day, because that was time taken away from Claire, and I really needed to spend that extra time with her because our lives were so busy as it was. But then I found audiobooks, and I realized that you could turn it up to 2 times speed. Not only are you reading books twice as fast, but it's closer to the speed that I read myself. So the voice inside my head was more natural and allowed me to get lost into the book a lot faster. The second great thing about audiobooks is that you can read them while doing something else entirely. So for me, that was going to the gym and walking to and from work, which is about 100 minutes a day. That turns out to be 200 minutes because you add 2 times speed, which is 1400 minutes a week, which is about 24 hours in the week. So you've gained a whole extra day. I had created time. I've been given an extra 7 weeks a year, and I know it's not literally creating time, but I effectively have created time because I'm able to get 7 weeks worth of reading inside of the time that I was already doing something else that I was already going to be doing, which was going to the gym and walking to and from work. So now, yes, I did have an extra 7 weeks in my year. Once I figured that out, the last 4 months I've flown through the books, and not only did I reach my target of 30, I actually got to 33, and I'm about an hour and a half away of getting to 34. It's the 1st of January, so what can I do? Now Claire and I earn a lot of money. I'm a general manager of a hotel, she's an event manager, we make good money, but we weren't saving. Prior to this 12 months, we were blowing our money on alcohol and food. Now, given that we decided to give up alcohol, you could be mistaken for thinking that we saved a lot of money, but you'd be wrong because we just started spending it on other things. I had far too many shoes, way too many clothes that I will never wear, and I have every piece of tech that you could imagine. So a few months ago, I started reading more and more books about money and investing. And recently I read The Barefoot Investor, and from this book I got some great advice about investing, and I've been looking into it, and I've done a bit of research, and I'm pretty proud to say that we've invested our first $5,000, and we plan on investing a lot more when we return from our trip. Yeah, so I think that these habits that we formed over this 12 months has led us to this point where now in 2019, it's all about our finances. It's all about growing our wealth for the future so that financially we're now secure. That it comes down to investing and the miracles of compound interest, and also creating additional income streams, this YouTube channel being one of them. And from that, we'll hopefully be able to get to a position where we're completely financially free. That doesn't mean I'm going to quit my job. I love my job. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. I really enjoy what I do. I'm a leader of people, and that gives me so much satisfaction. Being able to work with my teams and help get the best out of them, but being able to produce multiple income streams so that my job is necessary for me to live is something that I want to get to. I think these habits that I've built over the last 12 months has helped me get to a point where I can confidently say that and know that it's going to happen. I've achieved so much in this last 12 months that to now go and create another 5 or 6 income streams is just a given. It's just time now. It will happen in time. And I think that's something that I read recently that really stuck with me. That yes, this might take 2 or this might take 4 years to do, but that 2 and 4 years, it's gonna come whether or not you do it or not. If you do it in 2 or 4 years, you might be in that position where you wanna be. If you don't do it, that 2 or 4 years is still gonna come and you'll still be in the same place that you were. So you may as well give it a go. You may as well start. Why not? What have you got to lose? Give it a shot. And there's so many different ways of doing things, so many ways of making other additional income, or losing weight, or giving up alcohol, or getting up early. All the other habits that I've created are all things that you just got to start today, because tomorrow is coming, and if you don't start now, you'll never get there. So to wrap up, this last 12 months has been a massive transformation in my life, both physically, mentally, and obviously my finances have all started to come under control now. And I'm really excited to see where 2019 takes me, see how this journey evolves and what it becomes. This YouTube channel is going to be a great platform for me to share those journeys and share my experiences and be able to help other people do the same thing, hopefully. I'm going to use this channel to dive into more about what I did in the past 12 months and also really dive into the things I'm doing moving forward. And so with that in mind, I'd really like to ask you guys, what is that one thing that you need to do to change your life? What is it? So put it down in the comments. I'd love to know what that is. And anyway, if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to see more of my journey, subscribe. And thanks for watching. Cheers.